Welcome to Write the Narrative, where it's okay to be curious. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and drop your comments. Guys, please remember, as you join the live, please like the live, share the live. And your comments are appreciated. Truly appreciated. Today had been a whirlwind of stuff. Last night I saw where the news broke for about Shericka Jackson, and it was such a interesting conversation that got triggered over the day throughout the day. And today I believe that we have one of the we have so much that we can talk about, so many things that we can talk about. But before I talk about anything specifically, we remember we are all Jamaicans, right? And two big news. Which one is the bigger of the two? Vybz Kartel after 13 years freed. Is this a good thing for Jamaica? Is this like a big gap in the justice system? Or is this actual justice being served, freedom? But the bigger news is the Olympics. We had been watching this. We had been watching the lead up to the Olympics for a couple of over the weeks. We have been watching the lead up, and a lot of predictions would have said Shericka Jackson for the 100 and 200 meter. A lot of people have invested a lot and lots of their emotions into Shericka Jackson winning, but news broke that Shericka Jackson will not be running in the 100 meter. Instead, Sasha Lee Forbes will be in, Shericka Jackson out. And that's baffling. More news. Shericka Jackson injured or not? Is it that she's injured or she's not injured? That's more news. Kishane Thompson. Kishane Thompson touched Noah's girl, and he's not sorry. They're saying it's mind games. I do believe it's mind games. Kishane Thompson looking like a lion out there. He looked like he's just driving fears in many. You can imagine Junil say that she's going to Jamaica to go train and to participate in the trial. And then you look when she's in trial in Paris, where her Noah is, Kishane just walks up, hug her, and just walk away. That's pure gold right there. What are you doing when you're in Jamaica? Is it just being hugged by Kishane? Then you're telling us that they're faster guys than me. You don't care about my feelings. You don't care about my feelings, Janelle. One more way that we could look at this Shericka thing with the MVP and everything. Do you believe that the J3A, the JADCO, and the Olympic Association is under attack? Journey with Kelly. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to the live. Please remember to click the to touch that like button. Appreciate it. Journey with Kelly is saying like and share, guys. Cynthia Lane, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. I'm touching a few topics here tonight. Will there be changes in Jamaica track and field soon? Will there be any changes soon? Before I think that we can touch all of these. These are all valid questions. What do you guys think? All valid questions, right? Sasha Lee Forbes in for Shericka out. The media, Stephen Francis, everybody agree that Shelly-Ann Fraser is not injured. Well, according to Shelly-Ann Fraser, she's fine. She's just protecting her body, protecting her mental health, and she's just going to run the 100 meter. How many different ways could we spin this for it to make sense? Shericka Jackson. Sorry, my bad. Shericka Jackson, how many ways could we spin this for it to make sense? Shericka Jackson is not injured, according to her and her camp. She is just protecting her body, protecting her mental health. She had been running for 3 years consecutively at high level, multiple competition, Diamond League, 2 World Championships, and she was coming off of the Olympics. That's very high level running there. We saw what happened to Elaine Thompson with less than that. We saw what happened to Mommy Rocket with less than that. She took time off and then she came back. Shericka had been going full throttle the entire time. But according to all of what's going on in the media, Shericka Jackson is not injured. That's what they are saying. She's not injured. So we want to make sense of it. Not injured, but still running just one event, even though she qualified for two. Why is this so? Is it that she just wants to make sure that she's going to win the 200 meter, get some legacy under her belt, win the 200 meter gold at the Olympic, start a legacy and take it from there? Or is it that she's actually injured, she's protecting the injury, and she's going to just take the workload off and work with just one event, which is the 200 meter, right? Is she injured? Is she not injured? That's the big question. Can Sasha Lee Forbes really replace Shericka Jackson? Is she the right person to replace Shericka Jackson? Maybe not. A lot of people said that Sasha Lee Forbes had not been very consistent, and she had not run very fast times, and she's known to literally drop the ball when it matters most. This is the biggest stage. Adrenaline might just give her that boost that she needed. But even while the interview was going on, we saw where Stephen Francis alluded to the fact that the J3A Jamaica Olympic Organization, all these people, they are not making the right calls behind the scene. Is this like a coup d'etat, a subtle attack on the J3A to make sure that changes are made? Is this a sabotage of some sort where they're saying if we sabotage you at the highest level, then it will be effective? Like, let's say that we qualify, you decided you're going to be stingy, you're not going to send all the athletes that you could send. Usually, the pool of athletes for the relay is six, you send just maybe four, because three of these, you send maybe two. Three of these athletes are already qualified for the 100 meters. Some of them running the double. In this case, Shericka Jackson would be running the double. No, you're only gonna send three people. You're gonna send five people, and you're stingily sending five people. No, these people who are running the flat event, they are looking for endorsement deals, and they're gonna prioritize the endorsement deal. The relay is really a sideshow for the fans, for us the fans. And a side note here, we the fans enjoy track and field more than the athletes. The athletes, well, we celebrate it more than they do. When they lose, we are upset. When they win, we're happy. Case in point, Shericka Jackson lose right now because she qualified, but she's gonna step away from it. Maybe it's good for her health, but it's bad for us. The entertainment value is going down. We would love to see her run. Want to see her run against Shakari. Do something. Win, lose, draw. Do something out there. Run. Instead, we're gonna get Sasha Lee Forbes. A lot of people think that Sasha Lee Forbes not good enough, may not be able to cut it, and we are not happy with what is going on there, but it's for her health. I think it's for her benefit, her health. And as a result, a lot of people would want to think that if you're qualified, why not run? If you're healthy, why not run? She said that she's healthy. The coach said she's healthy, but she chose not to run. Is it strategic? Or is she working on just getting a gold medal and just feeling secure in that gold medal? Or is it that she will be going to, or is she's protecting that injury? None of us will really know. I'm going to touch on a few more comments here. Journalist Kelly and Shericka said no world record, so I think she's 50-50. That's a good assessment there. Edwin, welcome to live. Appreciate the comment. Welcome back. Actually, Shericka did not want to smoke that from want that smoke from Shakari. I don't blame. I would have to drop her drop out too. She don't want to taint that record. She don't have a record in the 100 meters, so she wouldn't be tainting anything. It would be her first time. John Kelly is saying Sasha Lee Forbes came fourth at trial, so she would have to be the one. But I don't think she's ready. Sasha Lee Forbes doesn't show anything that indicates that she's ready. Cynthia Lane is saying, I'm speculating here. I think because the MVP camp is upset with J3A for not sending enough athletes to the competition. I do believe that this could be a part of the reason why they're holding a strong they have a strong hand and they're holding their hand as well. The MVP camp is upset with the J3 for not sending enough athletes to the competition. I do believe that could be a part of the reason because the J3, Stephen Francis did allude to the fact that J3 did not send enough people, and the athletes would be looking to preserve their athletes and run them in the best possible shape because this is where the athletes get the endorsement deals. This is where the coaches get paid, and they would love to make sure they capitalize on all those hard work. When we look at the athletes, the lifespan is really, really short. The coaches also would be investing in this, and the dreams are cut short because when an athlete gets injured, the coach dream also get cut right there as well because the coach would be investing in the athlete and also waiting for that payout, that payday when the athlete get that endorsement deal. So they will be protecting that. And after years of seeing athletes going into competition and also being patriotic for the country, seeing that the country is dropping the ball for the athlete, then they will have to make a call that works for them. That's what I think. Um, I do believe that this topic between the Shericka Jackson and her replacement is huge. It's just So it's just so many different angles that we could take this one. The biggest one is, why is she not running if she's healthy? Is it just because she want to win that 200? Is it really just because of that? Or is it that she's a part of a beaten stick for the J3A? The J3A had been dropping the ball. We have seen that they dropped the ball with Kimber Nelson. Like they're saying, maybe we'll keep her, maybe we won't. As a result, they may have to send for her, because if the athletes and the coaches will choose to use the best possible team and get their athletes in the best shape possible, what does this mean for the relays? It means that the athletes might just be focusing on the flat event, and they will not be focusing on the relays until they have nothing, until there's no other option. After they run the race and they're feeling fit and they are gonna make sure that they're good going into the Diamond League and all of that, then it was like, okay, I'm good enough. I'll probably run the relay, because it seems like, if you think about it, the MVP is not as patriotic as they once were. The MVP is MVP. They are in Paris, but they're not. They weren't mingling with the rest of the Jamaican camp. They weren't mingling at all. If you ask, when they asked Stephen Francis questions, he told them, he directed them to the people who would be best suited to answer those questions. If it was something that was related to the J3A, then the J3A would have to answer that question. He would not necessarily answer the question for the J3A. But if you ask something specifically about Shericka Jackson, he answers the question. But if it is something about Shericka Jackson that should be answered by the J3, then he probably wouldn't answer it. He would refer you back to the J3A. Anna Ferguson, welcome back to the live. Appreciate your comment. MVP not saying much about Shericka, not healthy enough to do 6 rounds. I'm sure I pick up that from what she said. Yeah, she was, and I saw the nervous laughter. She had some nervous laughter there, but it's the fact that they're saying that she's healthy. That's what I'm going off of. Like, they're saying she's healthy, but she's not running at the same time. Like, why would she not participate even though she's healthy and she's the one who qualified? And the most logical thing is that she's not healthy. They're saying no, that's not the case. She is actually healthy, but she's not participating. She said that she's gonna just work on maintaining that mental. She's gonna she want to protect her health, her mental health and her physical health as well, because she had been running consistently for 3 years, which is true. All of that is true. But the fact that she qualified and is not running, that's where the problem comes in. And Ferguson is once again saying she said no world record, which suggests that she's not just pulling out of the 100 to focus on getting a legacy. Legacy would mean that she gets a world record in the 200 meter, which nobody else could say that they're the fastest in the 200, and she would have replaced a age-old record, Florence Jana record. That's almost unbreakable, even though she went as close as she did. But last year she was signaling intent to break that record over and over. But then this year she's not signaling that kind of intention, and she's pulling out of something that could also bring the glory that she is also seeking. So it does suggest that she could be injured, else she's a part of a team that is working on dethroning or shaking things up, where J3A, Jamaica Athletics Association, is concerned, because they are dropping the ball with the Naoka Clunes case, where she qualified to be in the Olympics, and they didn't put her name on the list. As a result, she's not gonna be there. She's not participating for Jamaica because she's not gonna be there. She's not there. Stephen Francis had experience where Nesta Carter got left off the list in the past. So it's something that would be fresh in his mind. Kimber Nelson, who would have been a part of the relay team, she was supposed to be a part of the. Was supposed to be there in Paris the same way how Alana Reid is there, but they left her off as well. Usually it would be 6 people, but this time around it was only 5 people. And we could easily see where, if the athletes are trying to ink a deal, they would be looking to lay it all out on the track, and it really comes down to the coach. If you're gonna talk about, for example, a Tia Clayton who is still young, only 19 years old, even if she have all of the prospects in the world, if they're gonna get a good deal for her, the best place to get it is the best place for her to be scouted by any brand, it would be at the Olympics. Therefore, they would be prioritizing that flat event over the over the relay event. If they choose not to run that the relay, same for Kishane as well. If you choose not to run the relay, then qualifying for the relay finals would be a little bit more difficult. That's what I think here. Let's read another one here. John with Kelly is saying MVP instead of J3 and all that crap that they do. I can believe that as well. Anna Ferguson saying exactly, but up soon, hear more. Well, I guess you're saying that, but we soon hear more, or you soon hear more. John with Edwin is saying, I think she's not in race shape, but I don't think she's injured. If injured, she would not be running at all because that is very much true. Because if she ran in the 200, get injured, she'd be taking herself out of competition, out of the Diamond League opportunities for another 4 year, maybe a season. She could kill her season, could end the season now if she run. But I really do believe that they are focusing on where they could make the money, and I think the money will be made on the circuit and in the deals because we all know that the athletes had been complaining for years that the J3A, but not just the J3A, the Jamaica, the Jamaican not the public, the Jamaica government, the J3, the organization, all of those, they don't necessarily provide for them well. And remember, if an athlete gets injured, they could be injured for the rest of their life. Usually, it's a lifelong injury, which could cost millions of dollars and continued pain. Therefore, it would be the least that the country could do if they would provide them some kind of benefit that is significant to them, building a house for them, giving them something that they could say, yes, this was given to me because of the talent that I brought to the country. That would be very good, even if it's the winner of the Olympics. If like this person was not expected to win, they competed and they won. The government should or could work with somebody, the private sector, somebody, Bill Gates, somebody, those people giving them free money. Work with them. Mr. Beast built a lot of houses in Jamaica. Work with somebody to give them a free house. You know what I mean? Because when these athletes get injured and can't really do anything, they can't be athletes anymore, and they can't really work because their career is in running. They can't get a job because somebody else trained to be a sports doctor or a therapist, and they just fall off. Even though they're represented for the country, they'll be like some veterans that went to war in America. Cynthia Lane is saying Francis is not running the athletics into the ground because of J3A mismanagement. Shericka is not at last year's standard. So I guess he's making sure he gets at least the goal in the 200, which would be very good, which would be very good for the club, which would be very good for him. And we also know that the MVP have a track record of getting Olympic gold medals at the Olympics. They have a record of putting athletes on the map. They have a track record of being an excellent club. Therefore, they would continue to be an excellent club. But there's something behind all of what is going on. Off to another point to pivot. This point is such a big point; it could go on for hours. There was a little video with Kishane. Everybody wants to see Kishane, want to hear Kishane, but Kishane has arrived. He has showed himself. He's been running. He's getting those starts. And before I go to that point, I saw where a podcast host was saying that they knew already since June that Shericka Jackson would have missed out. Was it June? They knew a long time, but it was just for out of respect for the camp that they didn't say anything. How is it that they would have known? That's what I'm concerned about. If she knew a long time ago, and it seems like she knew even before she went to the championship. or it was after the championship, the trials. How is it that they would have known that she wouldn't compete and not make the necessary preparation? Now, J3A would have blundered significantly because let's say they already knew that she wouldn't be participating, and they know that all right, Sasha Lee Forbes would replace her. Why wouldn't they bring six people instead of just bringing five? That's where I don't get it, because there's a lot of stuff going on around on internet which is good for entertainment, but some of it, if you put some logical perspective to it, it makes no sense. John Wade Kelly is saying, Edwin, that was a good way to put it. John Wade Kelly said the problem is not the problem is not endemic to Jamaica though. You remember Tory Boy's situation? She was kicked out of gym because she could not pay. I remember that one. It really resurfaced after her death. But yeah, it really is a sad situation because the athletes, they really do not get the kind of recognition. They don't get any compensation, not the compensation that they deserve. They really have to go out there along with their management team, their clubs, and do whatever they can do. Even though some of the athletes are they are building up their social status on social media, which could help them to have a future in social media. Who knows? You never know. But on to the Kishane Thompson. Kishane Thompson had been the topic of conversation for a lot of people. A lot of people for a long time. Actually, it's probably the biggest personality in the Olympics where sprinting is concerned right now. And Noah Lyles had been touting himself as one of the world's best or the fastest man alive, but with Kishane time, he says otherwise. The crazy thing about Kishane, the videos that we had seen surfacing with him, he's so casual, so calm and nonchalant, saying absolutely nothing. He's just so level-headed in his approach. But what I saw when he walked up to Noah Lyle's girlfriend, hugged her, and just kept walking. Didn't acknowledge Noah, and he just kept walking. And the person who was commentating on the video was saying that he was doing mental, he was getting a mental edge over Noah Lyles, which looked like it. It was just insane the way how he walked up to Janelle, hugged her, and then released and walked away. I know I was just there looking like, what just happened? The guy didn't pay him any mind. It's like he didn't exist. If you're talking about getting into somebody's head, he just got into his lifetime. You will never forget that day. Absolutely will never forget that day. Suddenly Hilton, why then would she waste her time to run the 100 at the trials? That no make no sense. That person came fourth in the trials, could have had an opportunity to be at the Olympics. That makes more sense. Absolutely. If the athletes and Lucky Lifestyle, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. Thanks for keeping us updated. Absolutely. It's a pleasure, sir. Absolutely. So, finally, you're saying that it makes no sense. And that's what I was thinking about. If these people who are not in the Jamaican camp had known this ahead of time, this this show that there's a void in communication between the camp and are between the athletes or between the managers and the J3A. It absolutely makes no sense. Why, even if she won, she didn't back out at that time? Or is it that she signaled her intention to back out and they didn't really care? It doesn't make any sense at all. Cynthia Lane is saying we should be giving our money to the athletes instead of the lazy beggars on TikTok. That's factual. These athletes are all right. Let's put it into perspective. What's happening with the athletes? And we're talking about athletes who had been running since their high school days. They're running in the Issa Boys and Girls Championship, right? The athletes sometimes they're going into the pro stages injured already. They really can't do anything but um, go through rehabilitation before they start their training. A lot of these athletes, look at Boaji and Kume. Boaji and Kume, um, the national junior record holder for Jamaica or under 20 record holder. All I know that when he was still in high school running for Kingston College, he ran 9.99. First athlete to go sub 10 as a junior, a high schooler in Jamaica. He got injured. He's now at the Racers Track Club, I think. But he still could not compete. He could not even try out for the Olympics, even while running that kind of time at the tender age that he did. He could not try out because he is injured. And a lot of these athletes coming out of high school, going into these clubs, they are injured. Serena Cole, she was the one that was rivaling Alana Reid. We know what Alana Reid did in her final year, but Serena Cole went into the into high into the went to college into when she was at UTech. She went to MVP and she's injured. She didn't even try out, and we know that Serena Cole is naturally fast as well, built for it. So these athletes are putting in so much work. They're giving glory to Jamaica, and even some of them they're giving the jobs to J3A and the Jamaica Olympic Association. And I alluded to the fact that the JADCO they destroy a lot of these athletes with their testing procedures. They destroy a lot of them. They are like a red tape that you must overcome before you get into onto the world stage. So that so that bring me to the point that do you think that Stephen Francis with this move, because he's the head coach, he's the he's the head of the MVP. Do you think he did not know that Shericka Jackson would not compete? Do you think that he did not know that she's not well enough to compete, or did you think he did not know that the strategy was for her to only run the 200 meters before now? If so, if that's the case, do you believe that this is an attack on the J3A? Do you believe that this is an attack on the associations? Because we know that the Olympic Association absolutely did nothing for Nayoka Clunes. She didn't get to attend the Olympics, even though she's qualified. She earned the only reason why she's not there is because they dropped the ball. They confirmed that it was a blunder. Oftentimes, I wonder if it really is a blunder, or is it that it was strategic? Maybe they were saying it's more than likely that they will not medal. They will not medal in the or in the hammer throw. So why bring her? Let's use this spot for maybe an administrative staff, because it's not like they're trying to the they're not trying to stack up on athletes. They also were limited where the relay athletes are concerned. So, and even if they wanted to use one athlete multiple times, it would have been better for them to use some of the in the mixed relay. They would have been better for them to use some of those athletes multiple times for the mixed relay instead of bringing a whole new set of mixed relay athletes who are subpar at best. Those mixed relay athletes almost will never medal. You know what I mean? You have some athletes who are flat 400 runners, some athletes who are flat 400 runners. The Jamaica men team, they did not qualify for the 400 meter men. 400 meter men, they did not qualify. You won't see them bringing the athletes from the 400 meter regular men team. Some athletes who nobody cares are knows are even those athletes are not running the regular time. Are the quality? I don't even know what time they are running. It's just know that for the past couple of years, when we saw the mixed relay team coming out of Jamaica, it's always a bad team, never a good enough team that could compete. Cynthia Lane is saying this is a protest by Francis against the J3. Unfortunately, it's a necessary action. I do believe that this is not normal. This is not normal. It's not one of those actions that we consider to be a patriotic action. But the guy had been a patriot for a long time. He's still in Jamaica. He didn't change nationality. He didn't apply his trades overseas. He's still there. He has a club there, he has a business there, he's an employer there in Jamaica. So he's a patriot. But I think that this is a sign that shows that the J3 they are not efficient, they are proficient, they're not doing their job properly, and if they don't get the help that cause them to look good, then they fall apart. And this is one Example, now that an athlete pulls out, this is affecting three medals. She pulls out and it could affect three medals. John with Kellini said, we never treat the mixed relay with any respect. I don't believe they do. But as I said with Shericka Jackson, it affects three medals. She's a 100-meter specialist and probably our best prospect for a 100-meter gold. She's a 200-meter specialist. And then the 4x1, she would also help us to get a gold, to get a medal in the 4x1s, right? No, with Shericka Jackson, nobody should depend on any one athlete to be at their best, especially seeing that they're only human, right? She could have had a flu. She could have had anything that was too much. She could have had, during the COVID time. I don't know if COVID exists anymore. It could have been something that even while she's healthy, she could not participate in the event, right? But she now could affect three medal opportunities because the J3A are not doing their jobs. There are administrative staff that should make sure that the paperwork side of things work, and they should also consult with those people who would give them the best advice for success. Because if these guys are building athletes who are as proficient as they are, it means that they have some form of um, value that they could bring to the decision making of of other athletes or even the entire process. I do believe that Jamaica should be doing a little bit more for the athletes, and they should be doing a little bit more, and they should, I don't know, they should be spending more. They're looking at Jan Max Stam. Welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Good night, folks. So yeah, I do believe that if MVP already knew what was gonna happen, and the J3 had no idea what was going to happen. It suggests that there are no communication between the two. And we saw from the interview before, I can't remember if it was before the trials or after, where Stephen Francis, he was saying a few things, and he alluded to the fact that the head of the, I can't remember if the head of the J3, but he was alluding to the fact that the guy who had 2 degrees think that he doesn't need consultation from the professionals. He had professionals like Glenn Mills and coach Stephen Francis, but he's not trying to consult with them. He usually rely on his own understanding, and now it's falling apart because with Shericka Jackson being pulled, and while they're saying she's not injured, suggests that they are having a coup d'etat. Literally, the J3 is under attack. It could be anything else. What could it be other than that? Other than the fact that if you are a healthy athlete, you are the one who qualified. You have yes, third with Kathleen Maurice Wilson. He only listened to himself, nobody else. Literally nobody else, only himself. And if they're saying that's the case, it means that they're not working together. Ultimately, he will have to listen after this, because somebody will be pushed into a negative spotlight. Because right now, the surrounding, the environment or the Olympics is negative at best. It will be pushed into a negative spotlight. Elmak is saying this is way too much jazz for me. And I was expecting to just cheer. I was expecting to cheer and then go over to some American, um, some of our rivals' page and say something that like we get, we just get bragging rights. But even now, they must be pitying us. They must be saying, "Oh man, we don't want to beat them when they're like that. They're not at their best. It doesn't feel fun anymore." You know what I mean? It really is. It's not what it should be. Now we'll have to shift goals. We'll have to shift perspective to Kishane Thompson, hoping that he will bring that smoke. And Matthew saying, did you see Jacko conference? She spoke without saying anything. I did. But she was saying, and that's why I was saying, if I'm sticking to what she said, she's healthy. She's saying that she is healthy, but she's really just protecting her mental health and her physical health. She don't want to do too much because she had done so much over the past 3 years. So if I was supposed to stick with what she said and what Stephen Francis said, she's healthy. But the that's only if we believe that. she may not be healthy. It would be most logical to believe that she's not healthy, you know. But she said that she is. So if we stuck to what she said, then she's healthy. But Stephen Francis continuously um, stated that they just didn't bring enough athletes for the relays. Now, if he pull his athletes, literally, let's say for some reason, whatever the reason is, he decided that he was going to pull his flat event athletes from the relays until the finals, then what would happen? Or would we qualify? That's how the relay gets affected. Because let's say, for example, he's gonna work on getting Tia that that endorsement deal. Therefore, she's gonna train, she's gonna recover, she's gonna rest, and she's gonna run, right? And let's say, for example, the prelims come at a time when she should be resting, when she should be recovering. Will he allow her to go out there and compete? Because if this is a coup, if this is an attack on the J3, if they're not really working together, what does that mean for the few? Like, what does that mean for the events to come? Events that one party could affect. And this is all speculation, by the way. And Mark talk truth. Tell them again. Cynthia, he said, I think one of J3 called Francis and asked, disrespected him in an interview. All right, there you go. And now we could see that person and his organization being replaced because you could fight back without saying anything. You just make it look bad. Because I was saying in a video earlier that the Olympics built us, and it just might be the thing that breaks us. Only because in fighting, we're not going to lose to anybody. We're going to lose to ourselves. We're going to just implode. And that's how dynasties are destroyed. You know, most dynasties are not necessarily destroyed from outside. The dynasty usually get destroyed from within. It's a age old thing. It's almost like a curse, to be honest. If you think about real dynasties from the past, they're always destroyed from within. If you're talking about sports dynasties, look at for example, when they had the Cleveland Cavaliers when they were doing well in basketball. Kyrie Irving and LeBron James could not see eye to eye, even though they were extremely talented, very difficult to beat. And if they had gone 3, 4 more years, it would have been probably an unbeaten run. Same with the Lakers with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, dynasty destroyed from within. When they had for the Golden State, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Kevin Durant just didn't feel like he was being respected at the location. As a result, it imploded because he decided that he was going to leave, go somewhere else where he's king. Jan Mack is saying, but she is a skin. She asking her teeth like she a try psych out the interview and the interviewer, and she was like, repeat that again. Yeah, she was all right, and even with the entire group of people from MVP being as secretive as they were, it was just shrouded in secrecy. It was all secrets. Nobody knew anything what was going on. And then when they came out, you could see it's almost like they came with the chaos. Hopefully the athletes produce. Hopefully, but I think that when the athletes succeed, J3 succeed. So this is like a dilemma at the moment. If the athletes succeed, how can we get our athletes succeed without J3 being successful? I think it would be the strategy that we're seeing being employed right now. They force them to use some mediocre athletes. Athletes get to run, they're represented there. Some athletes try to get an endorsement deal by being individual stars at the event while still not showing that the J3 had any part in their success. It again is all speculation, but it just really look like it's not a problem that because when you look at the athletes going through the village as a group, they're moving as one. Um, Cynthia, really, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, so it wasn't. I don't think it was recent. Might have been a little bit ago. Might have been a little while ago. David Riley was the person. So Journey with Gillian is confirming that David Riley was the person. Talking about David Riley, I remember David Riley was saying that It was one of the best training camps ever. I wonder if the MVP was not there. They had a training camp in Germany. He was saying it one of the best training camp ever. They're expecting the athletes to do a very good job. They're expecting that these athletes will be like the second coming after 2008 athletes, and he was just touting pure success. They were expecting as many as 18 medals. David Riley is expecting a lot of medals. And I don't know if he was counting the MVP medals as well, because right now, Shericka Jackson single-handedly affected three medals, and the MVP with their ladies affected as many as four potential medals. You know, because let's say Tia is in a good shape, who knows what's gonna happen? She's 19 years old. She could come back. I'm sure that they're gonna have her do her best, but something about it is off. It's way off. It's just off, and they're answering the questions like it's just a game. Wayne Walker, he continuously to put the information out there, put it out there at midnight. I wonder if he was expecting that nobody would see it, so he put it out there at midnight. Maybe it's France time, and then the guys would have seen it there and said, "Oh, we found out from you," you know. So I'm expecting even us have more information than some of the guys who are in the camp there. Hopefully, at some point, it will come together. But from what we are seeing, this is big news with Shericka Jackson not representing. She might be injured. I just don't know, because if she said she's not injured, why the shakeup? The shakeup is heavy. General Kelly is saying he is a high school coach. Frano told him he knows nothing about track, uh, elite level track. But Frano also kept taking jabs at his double degree, saying that no, 2 degree can't help you. And Frano was taking a few jabs at those degrees. Those degrees you spent a lot of time for, or maybe they're honorary. I don't know. Cynthia Lane is saying this year round the beginning of summer. And as you saw on my thing there, I wonder which news is bigger. Shericka Jackson pulling out of the 100 meters and saying that she's healthy, but she won't run. Our Vybz Kartel going to being freed. And I haven't really seen a stranger day than this in a long time. Journey with Kelly is saying, but he is the head of J382. Therefore, that could be the reason for the war. I'm sure that after this, if they make the Olympic as messy as they could be, they will have to find they would have to find a mediator. They would have to find some common ground, because remember, like competitive people, they don't ask for things, they take it by force. And if Steve Francis is as ambitious as we think, he would probably want to affect change in the J3A. Yanmak is saying, we're definitely imploding. And is it me, or is it that too much camp rivalry going on, which is affecting the country's outcome? I do believe that there are so many camps, there are camps being splintered, and the rivalry is real. I do believe that there should be a coach that is not tied to any of these camps. If there's a coach that is not tied to any of the camps, then they would have a better camp at the Olympics. When I said the coach is not tied, there should be a national coach that all of these coaches report to, that is not biased to any one camp, you know. And it seems like it won't be easy to find something like that, because if you ask Stephen Francis, only, let's face it, he's a supreme being where track and field is concerned in Jamaica. And if you ask Usain Bolt, he would say that Glenn Mills is the bigger supreme brain. Therefore, the other young gods coming up, like the Elite Track Club, the right now you have Optimum Track Club. There are so many track clubs. These people will be looking to carve out their own piece of heaven. John Wick Kelly in his saying, Cynthia, yeah, it was a back and forth between them both. Coach, coach would coach, would you run your athlete if she's injured? Actually, yes. Well, I'm not a coach. I'm just speculating. I'm a fan, pretty much like the rest of us here. Just giving my taking some takes as well. But if the athlete is injured, the athlete should not be running unless the athlete is in running shape, because there are some injuries that is worse than others, and you have some people, they would run the athlete knowing what is possible. And if you look at some of the podcasts that has been coming out recently, we saw you see Asafa Paul said that a lot of time that they were running, they were in pain. Justin Gatlin confirmed that. Usain Bolt confirmed that as well. So the athletes, they know what they are allowed to do, especially under advice, especially if they are advised by the coach to do it. So it's a difficult question to answer when you said if they are injured, but it depends on the type of injury. There are people who would have a sprain and still run. You know, it really comes down to what kind of injury. Now, let's say for example, the injury could affect the athlete going all right after the Olympics is over, then they're gonna just pick up in the Diamond League where they left off, and that's where they will be making the money. That's where the endorsement goes to work, and they have to show up at different meets. It's probably inked into the contract that you must show up, and if they want to maintain that endorsement that they secured, then they probably will have to show up injury free, run a good race. And some people, as I'm seeing right now, they are not the patriot that they once were. As like you saw with the banner for Shelley and Fraser Price, been there, won that. For those people who haven't been there and won that, they would be saying, been there, done that. So it really depends. And I do believe that MVP is looking for the money. They're looking out for the athletes, and they're looking out for the athletes coming out of this sport with some money in their pocket. I think they also teach them some financial responsibility, because if you look at the athletes from the MVP, Asafa Powell, I think he did well for himself as an elite athlete. You look at Elaine Thompson, while some of us don't agree with what she did, I think she have more money than before based on the endorsement deals that she got. Shelly Fraser Price, she started out there, she's where she is now, but I'm sure that she's doing well for herself. They're elite athletes. They made it pretty far, and they did it for a long time, so you could expect that they would get paid. But I do believe that the meets that they chose to run, and the way how they had their career planned, I do believe that they they had some financial education, and I think it came from the camp as well. Jan Mark is saying that Cynthia is Jacko injured for 100, but well enough for 200. Me confused. You see what I mean? I do believe that. I do believe that it could be a part of a plan to destroy J3's reputation, because J3 really do not work for the reputation that they have. I saw also where from the training camp, Cynthia is saying, guys, hit that like button. It's just a few of us, but if we do hit that like button, it would look like that we had a good night. You know what I mean? So I appreciate all support. The comments are coming in. I do appreciate the comments. It's literally a commentary, as I said before. You comment with iTray. Um, so J3 was saying that they forged a very good relationship with the club with Germany. In Germany, somewhere where they had their training club, they secured a lifelong relationship. They did whatever they needed to get that. But this means that J3 is working and building a reputation. They're going further into the world, spreading their wings. But I don't believe J3 earned it, because just the simple fact that they could have left off a young athlete who would have been excited to be there. A young athlete would have been excited, especially after she qualified to be there. And she had to go through the court of arbitration. She lost, and they still didn't figure out a way for her to be there, because an athlete could be there, but they are not just not in the village. They just have to make sure that she have a place to stay, get to and from where she's going, get to and from, get from home to the village, train and all that stuff. It would be on them, but they really didn't help her as far as I am concerned. Click on the like button, guys, please and thank you. Jan Mark is um asking you, please. I appreciate it. General Kellini said, like Elaine, when she manages her injury, she's fine. There you go. And I do believe that I don't know if she's making the best financial decision. You know, like some people them grow with them granny. So the granny said put all of the money away. Elaine put all of the money away. But I think if she had paid some money to manage her injuries and try to get, because the talent that she has, she was unmatched, right? And if she had gotten to the level where she could have asked for the best appearance fee, she could have become a motivational speaker where she should have asked for a good appearance fee after her, at the end of her career. She would have accumulated that money without having to share it. The same way, oh, you saying Bolt now going on podcasts and all of this, he's still accumulating money. And the endorsements, some of these endorsements are lifetime endorsements, you know, and depends on who the athlete is. It's a lifetime endorsement. This athlete show up for this Puma event and give a speech or give some motivational whatever it is, they continuously get paid. So some athletes they make a good decision, some of them they fail to make a good decision. Cynthia is saying, Jan Mark, that's why I asked the coach if he would run the athlete if she's injured. Oh, so you're saying that you believe that the athlete is being ran because she's not injured, or if she's injured, she is still in running shape, good enough running shape, but she's not in the shape to do both, like run the 1 and the 200. So ultimately, if the coach who have the athlete's best interest in art, unless they are trying to save face, you know, they're trying to be a good team member for the Olympics, then they probably would not run the athlete. And do you guys expect any shake up in the J3A? Because again, we cannot look at this problem without thinking about the J3A. J3A have a big part to play in all of this. Johnny Kelly is saying something is going on. I do believe that the J3A did something that is not appreciated. Johan Blake, when he said what he said, I saw where he got the backlash for days. And a lot of people they came out, and I do believe that we should have a little bit of sympathy for these athletes who have a difficult time letting go. Let's say, for example, Shelly Fraser Price running this Olympic. She's saying that she will not run in another Olympic, but she's not quitting yet. Um, why is it that she is a lot older? Oh, all right, she's older than Johan Blake, but she's still saying that she's gonna run. It's not because, all right, let's say it's not because of money. It's because sometimes they just don't know how to let go yet. So when these athletes come out and they had achieved for the country at a level where we may never see another athlete achieving like that. And when, like for example, you and Blake said, you know what? I do believe that Jamaica does not Jamaica love winners and they don't support their own, but I do get the support outside. I believe that is geared at the leaders of Jamaica. I don't believe that he would be expecting some taps and roses from us because he's not on TikTok. You know what I mean? And very few people will be giving him that kind of respect unless you are a social media, you have a social media presence. But the government could do something, could have him go as a part of the Olympic um, delegation. I'm not saying it's what they would do, but they could have him go there as a motivator, somebody who could remind them because this is what countries are doing. It's just that these athletes want to be appreciated because what, as I said before, he alluded to the fact that his his um his tendon got ripped off the bone and his back got injured as a high school athlete, and then he ran for Carifta, and then he ran for Jamaica, and he is the second fastest man of all time. Some of the best times that we saw, the best relay, the world record relay, 4x1 relay for men, is he ran what that leg he ran. helped us to break that record very, very easily because he actually got received that baton behind Tyson. He ran past him and gave it to Bolt ahead of um, the other guy. I think his name was Bailey. I don't remember what his name was. But he was very instrumental in Bolt's success as well because he was the training partner who pushed him. Only only Bolt was better than him in the world. And he was Bolt's training partner. If you have a training partner like Johan Blake, you have to be good. Who else in the world is gonna beat you when Johan Blake is there to push you as hard? And when he's out and he said like we don't get the respect, I don't think he's saying that Jamaican, that guy over there in Portmore in that house who is with at the green with the green gate don't care about me. I think he's saying that the guy up at King's house don't pay attention and this lady who is in the ministry of sports, she equally dismissive of us. And then when we saw the bigger commentators who would be the ones that highlight the athletes and let the entire Jamaica know that these athletes are great, saying that you are not good and you're ungrateful and stuff like that, it breaks the athletes because you now feels like you are one of the A's in J3. You know what I mean? Some of these athletes they are looking for sympathy as well because they are human. And when the athletes pull out, the same way how we are seeing Shericka pulling out right now, it breaks the heart of the entire nation. The entire nation, they're like, what do we do? But those people who already put together a tally and saying that, you know what, this is my medal prediction. For those people who already have a medal prediction, no, that is all up in the air. You can't say that, you know what, I didn't know that she was not gonna run. Nobody knew. So the prediction now is off, and now your heart is broken because you're saying that we put so much energy into believing in this athlete, but this athlete believe in themselves as well. And after that race, if that athlete comes sixth, they'll understand what it means to become an athlete that runs sixth when they were expected to come first, and then they'll be forgotten. So they'll get 15 minutes of beating instead of 15 minutes of fame, and then they will be forgotten. Yan Mag is saying, RTN, don't put word in, don't put words in your mouth. He need to say what he means. Are you saying that he need to articulate it well? Let's say, for example, can't remember the athletes. I was watching her talking. She exudes eloquence. She was one of the most eloquent I've ever listened to. Can't remember who she was, but she is very intelligent. And they asked her a series of questions, and she was ready for every one of them. She, they could put her as their PR person. She's a young lady right now on the team. I just don't remember who she is. If you give Johan Blake a mic to represent Jamaica, it's better if you throw it down there to the next end and ask him to catch it before it drops. He'll give you a better show. Johan is not a person that would explain for Jamaica. Like, you don't think he have what it takes. He talks, but he's not really that person. You know, he's not that person who can articulate himself in a way that you get it. I don't think so. I think you would have to throw the mic down there and say, catch it before it drop. And when he go and he catch it, he come back and say, yes, I did a good job. This is for Jamaica. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And some of these athletes, if you listen to them how they talk, they're gonna do the slang because it's cool. It's cooler than just using what they learn in college, you know. But yeah, I do believe that would have been better. And I still believe that when Johan Blake was saying all that he was saying, when I put it into context, I was so like I was saying, let me think about this from a sympathetic perspective. And I just remember that he ran, his glory days came at that stadium, the London Olympic Stadium. He ran that race at the London Olympic Stadium and he came dead last. Dead last. And before running that race, he ran at the trials and he didn't make it to the semifinals. I think he did not make it to the semifinals. So he was upset. He was upset and he said, my emotions are all over the place. And he started talking and he started talking and he started saying Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica. And you know what? It became this ungrateful boy. And it did seem ungrateful. But I don't believe he articulated himself well because if you said Jamaica don't care about you when you're not winning, um, to be quite frank, they don't care about you even when you're winning sometimes. Because if you're talking about the leaders with Parchment winning a gold medal at the Olympic for Jamaica, and Babsy Grange allegedly go and she gave him a flowers, took a picture, got back in her vehicle and drove away. She did not provide a transportation for home. She did not ask a Juta tour to bring him home. She enjoyed her photo and she made sure that made it to the papers. That shows a lot. Cynthia Lane is saying US gold medalist better 300, 35,500. What does Jamaican gold medalist get? That's a very good question. I bet they get, they get the flowers. They get the flowers on a photo. I feel like they would probably get what the US get because Jamaica tried to replicate the US at all times. They try to replicate the US at all times. So I do believe that if I should guess, let's see what the Jamaica. I do remember that Babsy Green said that the athletes who qualify already, if you're automatically qualified, if you're an athlete who go to the Olympics, because you're qualified, you'll be getting $375,000. So I guess win, lose, or draw, the athletes in Jamaica will be getting 375,000. I remember seeing that for sure. So unless that's the case. Yanmak is saying so many of our athletes have come a long way in the interviews. I have watched them. Usain Bolt is one such athlete because when he speaks, oh, it makes a lot more sense than when he started out. Even Asafa Powell, he's a better speaker now. It might be because he has a platform where he has a lot more attention on him. And when he goes back and he read it, he realized that, or when he goes back and listen to himself, he realized that okay, there are things he could have said differently, but he speaks a lot better now. Johnny with Kellini is saying Cynthia Lane, nothing. Say they get nothing. That's interesting. I do know that they give pit they give promises and flowers. I'll have to Google that to be sure what's going on. Carlin Smith, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. Wow, when Babsy did that. That was in 2021 when Answer Parchment won the Olympic gold in the 110 hurdles. She gave him she met him, like they received him because he's a gold medalist, but that's it. Now you have to figure out how you get home. Carlin Smith is saying, you're saying was not too bad in the beginning. He has improved though. Yeah, it was not again, you see, because again when we're used to people on TV, they would be speaking it's not the Queen's English, it's good English, but they are also trained and they're very intelligent. They don't use the ums like I'm doing. They don't use the and are. They do it. They're more fluent. Usain Bolt was not as fluent, but again, he was not as trained as the others. We saw where he changed, and a lot of people were saying that the management staff behind him they pushed him. They pushed him in a direction where he became who he was. He was literally the face of athletics, track and field for the world, especially for the 2012 Olympics. He was single-handedly the man to promote that one. Kings and princesses and dukes, they were at his games, just fanboying and fangirling over him. Tate and Twin are poor interviewees. I hope they improve in interviews. And this is one of the reasons why Elaine Thompson was not a big deal in Jamaica. A lot of people didn't care for her. But if you look at Shelley and Fraser Price, she had always been good. She had always been good from the start, and she had gotten better and better and better. And as a result, she's the example of what to be as a athlete. We're handling the media or handling the public is concerned. Cynthia is saying Bobsy is a cloud chaser. Definitely, they take, and it's not even just Bobs, even the entire politicians. are clout chasers. They do almost nothing for you. They take a picture with the good work you have done, and they talk about how good of a Jamaican you are, and others should be like you. All right, thank you so much. Bye. That's enough for them. Nothing more. John Kelly is saying, Usain made sure he became marketable and he was under the radar the entire time. Usain made sure he becomes or became marketable. Oh, sorry, I have a cold here. Destroying me. Elaine always on the defense. And that's why I said Elaine seems like a person who grew with her grandmother, the way how she handled money and the way how she talks. Um, I'm sure that she's a nice person. Most people who are like that, they just need friends. And if she's your friend, I'm sure that she's your best friend. I guess that she's a good friend. But a lot of the Jamaicans are not the example of it's not the best example if you interview them. They they are not trained for it. They weren't and a lot of these athletes, they're overnight stars. It's not like an athlete that has been trained in like a Chinese athlete started out from 3 years old and they know that this is gonna be an Olympian. Some of these athletes became an Olympian by chance. Because remember, there are athletes who had been in a club for for 10 years and still didn't make it to the national team. So some of them, they don't know, they have no idea if they're going to make it to the team. Some of them would have probably started out at college saying that, you know what, I used to do some track in high school, try out, and then they're so good that they continue and then they become a star. But from what I've seen, even with Kishane, it seems like he thinks, then he speaks. He's a little bit more media friendly already and he has a persona for of his own. Persona is a little bit more under the radar, and it's a big personality as well. So you see him walking, you see the head held high, the shoulder up like this, and he's walking like like a prince. He's already a big deal. So you already have that persona. Arlene Smith is saying they need to do well with the media because it also helps with attracting brand. That's true. Being a brand ambassador is the goal, I would assume, but you have to be able to prove why you should be that brand ambassador. And the talent won't do it. You'll have to be that person. You'll have to be that person where people comes to you and they feel comfortable approaching and they feel good after they leave. Like what we saw with Shelley and Fraser Price, that girl got the gift of a lifetime, stories that she'll tell her grandchildren. And after that, she invited Shelley Fraser to her rugby match. Shelley was up in the stands cheering her on. Shelley literally looked like she's a spectator at this Olympics right now. Maybe it's because it's the social media age where we're seeing a lot more. They're not as it looks relaxed. Something about it. I hope that we get the medals and then we could go on to something else because right now it's interesting. But it's kind of crazy at the same time. Mr. Rose Smith, welcome back to live. Appreciate your comment. Why is everyone saying Shericka is injured? And 2 days ago, Francis said she is good, and go right after that the speculation arise. Um, it's an excellent question. And when I started out this live tonight, I was saying that I'm going off the premise that Shelley and Fraser Price is not injured. No, sorry. I'm going off the premise that Shericka Jackson is not injured because she said she's not injured. Her coach said she's not injured. And she's still running the 200 meters. Now, if we're going off that premise, why is she not running the 100 meters? And I do believe that it could be where this is infighting. J3 versus MVP. J3 under attack on the biggest possible stage that could humiliate them. That's the thing that I want to allude to. Because if she's not injured, then why? Now, if she's not injured and she decided, okay, I'm gonna run the 200 meters, it could be that she wants to make sure that she's an Olympian gold medalist. She's gonna go out there, lay it all out there on the line, get that 200-meter gold. She have the fastest time outside of Flojo in the 200-meter. It only makes sense for her to have a gold medal in that event as well. Now you're gonna go down as the second fastest woman in history running the 200 meters, and you don't have a gold medal. When Elaine Thompson was the second fastest in history, she had two gold medals. So if she's the second fastest woman in history now and don't have a gold medal, her history will be tainted. So I do believe that at this point, if she's not injured, which she said she's not, it must be that they are having a little coup d'etat against J3A, maybe the Jamaica Olympic Association as well, and sending a little message over there to Jadco while they're at it, or she just wants to win the 200 meters. You want to either win the gold medal or she set a Olympic record or something. But I don't believe that the MVP is doing the J3 any favors right now. I do believe that they're trying to make it hard for the J3, and I believe it's rightfully so. No, again, all of that I'm saying I do believe, because just like how she's saying that she's not injured, yet she seems to be. It's everything of a big question mark because she qualified for the 100 meters. She's our best prospect. She have like the best time for Jamaica. She's the third or fourth fastest woman in the year, but we all know what she's capable of. She's not running the 100 and possibly not running the rounds in the relays. There's so much. And then even Stephen Francis is saying that the J3 did not bring enough athletes to run the rounds for the relay. Usually it's six people. They only brought three, two, outside of the people who qualified for the flat event. If you think about the people who qualified, Shelley Fraser Price might be injury prone. She could say, hey, you know what? Not gonna kill myself doing all that. I usually run on the finals so we could win. It could be that okay, Shericka, she didn't run the 100. She's injured so we'll have to wait. We'll give it probably put her on the finals so we could get that medal. Tia, she's a young athlete. We want to make sure that she's in the best shape so she could get the best endorsement deal. So we're not going to jeopardize this because you guys are not patriotic. We're not going to be patriotic. So many speculations that surround it. But they said that she's not injured. And if I'm going by that, I would say that there must be some reason why she's doing it and why the camp is doing it as well. Carlene Smith is saying Kishane is likable. His interviews are noise. Carlene, is it the interview that you're listening to? Is it? Journey with Kelly is in confidence. Shelly is great. I do agree. You have a great smile. And she speaks. She pays her words well. Cynthia Lane is saying, I think it has a lot to do with nerves as well. They are tossed into the limelight very fast, and the limelight is the stages are huge, but the light is bright. These people are in front of people with different languages. Questions are coming at them, which was prepared ahead of time to get the best possible answers. So you're gonna throw a question at this person before showing them so they could think about it. It's not easy. A press conference would have been easier, I bet. Carlene is saying Steven said that she's not running because of the injury. So you see, it's all about the cat and mouse. Mr. Rose Smith is saying, can you share a link where Francis said that, Carlene? Uh, well, the Observer is where the interview was. If you look at the Observer on you look at the Observer from Instagram, you might get a better experience than if you look at it from the website. But if you listen to Nationwide, what he said in Nationwide, he Wayne Walker, not without playing the interview, Wayne Walker was saying that Stephen Francis said she was not injured on the tape, but when he was talking to him one on one, he alluded to it. So therefore, he just alluded to it. He didn't say it. So at the end of the day, if I was supposed to use what was said, I'm gonna go with her not being injured. But she said she wanted to protect her body. She wanted to protect her mind. She had been running consistently for 3 years at very high levels, which she's a 10-6 runner. She's a 10-6 athlete. And the secrecy that we saw from MVP, we cannot. It was that silence was deafening. Everybody was going crazy. That sound of silence. They wanted to know what was that. And when they started coming out, the first thing we saw was Tia looking slim and trim. Then we saw Kishane was walking as if the only thing he was listening to was some instructions from his coach in that headphone. Then he walked up to Noah's girlfriend and he touched her and he said, "Touch your girl." And sorry. Basically, that walk was like, "But touch your girl." I'm sorry. you know. So they left Noah baffled. They're saying that he's getting in Noah's head. Hopefully that he will run away, left him on the track as well. So there's so much things, so many things that was coming out of out of the MVP camp without anything coming out. Now that we're seeing this, the injury, the athlete not running, hearing that people had known this since June. Since June? How is it that people would have known this since June? That's so interesting to me. Other people hearing about this since June, and we're still in July, the last day of July. People have heard about this since June. Having all of us predicting that Shericka would be winning that gold medal, beating Shakari into submission. But other people from other countries knew and they were respectful of the news. I believe that if this is true and they had already known this, this should have been public news to the athletes who would have been replacing her at least. And then for the relay pool, they should have had enough people for the relay pool, unless this was hush hush and they were gonna prove to the J3 that they are being greedy, they're keeping the money too much for themselves, and as a result, they are going to lose the glory because when the Olympic is a failure, not, and we don't get the 18 medals or 16 medals as predicted by David Riley, then they're gonna be like, see, you barely got 10. But the only thing that David Riley was saying that the good thing about this Olympics right now, we are expected to medal in field events. Previously, it was the sprints that we were looking to dominating, but now we can expect medals in the field events, and that's where they could flip the script on the MVP and said, you know what, you guys are patriots, you try to sabotage, and we still came out victorious. Sonny Hilton is saying that Shericka said it's to save herself that she's not injured. Shericka said it herself that she's not injured. I'm going by what she said, and that's where it's baffling because she's not injured and she's not running that 100. It could be that she has inside information that Tia Clayton is gonna run left her. And if Tia Clayton run left her and Shakari run left her, she's gonna come third. Or she have inside information that Shelly is getting better and she gonna come fourth. And she's like, me nah run with them. All of this is all speculation. It's so much a twist and turn. Like if you are healthy, you are a 10-6 runner. What's going on? It must be that she's not in running shape at the moment. Carlene Smith is saying Francis will not play those games with his athletes despite the J3. I think that the success of the athletes is the success of the coach. So I do agree. Whatever the success is for the athletes, success for the coach. The athlete would be the PR. The athlete is public relations for the club. They are the ambassadors of the club. And if the athlete is saying that the club was not good to me, then they could easily pass that message on to somebody else. As a result, the club will not be getting the best possible athlete. So I do agree here. But it is still baffling. My question is, why? That's what, since the moment the news got broken, I was wondering, why? Why? And now, or could it be that these people are the Olympic, the face of the Olympic? The promotion was built on her as well, since we do not have Elaine, and Shelly is an older athlete. She was the sprint queen in the 200. They needed, they didn't want this to seem like it's a failed Olympics. So, I just don't get it fully. I don't fully understand what was going on and why. I wish it was a little bit more clear. But the fact that they are saying that she is not injured, not injured, and that's where the game is. But I do believe the J3 and the MVP, I would be at odds with them as well because we saw where the athletes, Clonus, she got left. What's gonna happen for Clonus after this? Will she recover from that traumatic event? Do you think it would actually be a traumatic event? You know, do you think it's gonna be a traumatic event, knowing that this athlete qualified and failed to make an appearance at the Olympics because of a blunder? The blunder is that you did not put my name on the list, therefore I'm not welcome to the party. I'm qualified, I got an invitation, but I'm not welcome because my name was not there. They invited me, I accepted the invitation, but you did not put my name there. And it was your duty to put my name on that. You know what I mean? Will she recover from it? Seeing her friends, seeing the colleagues, seeing her countrymen going there, walking through Paris, recording stuff, being happy, excited, trying their uniforms, all these things. You know, the experience of a lifetime. But all that is yours as well. But you can't experience it because of a blunder. Will she recover? Will she continue to represent Jamaica? Will she choose to become choose a different profession? And this is because the blunder came from somebody, not her. You know, that's where the problem is for me. Mr. Rose Smith is saying, I'll wait to see on the day if she shows up for the 100. For now, I will not click on any videos who claim that who claim to have some insight on Shericka current condition. Just come across as gossip slash speculation. To some extent, it is not. The reason why is that she confirmed it in a video that she will not be participating in the 100 meters. Shericka did not. She said she would not participate in the 100. So at this point, I would have to go with the fact that she confirmed it. She had a press conference. She had a press conference. It's not like she just sat down and said that she would not be involved. Let me see if I could find that video real quick. All right, so this video, Citrus Mag. I think Citrus Mag is the. I'm gonna try to find the video real quick, and it's from a different YouTube channel, so that's where the trick comes in. Even know if it's like a issue to share.
New Olympic record potentially. What can we expect from Shericka Jackson in the 200? Could we possibly be looking at a new world record? New Olympic record potentially.
Ah, with all honesty, I don't think there is a world record coming, but definitely I don't think there's a world record coming.
How things are since Hungary, because you see you starting in the end of the race. Could you tell us a bit more?
Come again?
After Hungary, the Hungary meet, so end of the race was complicated. Could you tell us a bit more how you're physically feeling? Is it injury or just are you okay?
I'm okay. I had a slight cramp in Hungary, and right now I'm okay.
And the 100 decision is for more focus or to more rest before it?
I think the decision is just to protect my body. As I said, for the last 3 years, I've been competing in both events, and I think it's a combination of both, just focusing on one event and what happened in Hungary. So it's a combination of both.
Shericka, I've got a question about Tori Lewis from Australia. I'm not sure if you've raced her. The one who beat Carrie Richardson in the Diamond League recently. 19-year-old, up and coming. What are your thoughts on her ability?
With all honesty, I don't know her, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm sorry.
All good.
Sherry, there's a lot of talk about the rivalry between Jamaica and the US. How do you see it, and how do you see your rivals coming into
Without
this race?
honesty, I
All right, so hopefully you were hearing that, Mr. Rose Smith. Uh, Hopefully you heard it. So she was saying that she's healthy and explained why. If you look at the top, the video said Shericka Jackson explained why she's not running the 100 at Olympics and says no 200-meter world record. So she confirmed that she would not be running that 100-meter at the Olympics. But some people, depends on how it is presented. It might seem like, speculations and all of that. But she did confirm that she's not running that 100-meter. Before this, she was silent. The MVP camp was in, like, they vanished in 10 years, like in a different France. They were in a different Paris, you know. Carlin saying, who is your pick now that Shericka is out? But before, I already had Shakari as the number one because Shakari had been a little bit more consistent after she won that world um, championship. So my realistic pick was Shakari, followed by Shericka, followed by Shelly. No, my I think the Shelly pick was a bit emotional because we all love a Shelly and Fraser Price, but I'm gonna go with the more realistic pick once again. I'm gonna still go with Shakari. I know that Shakari is out of it, not knowing what Tia Clayton really can offer and not knowing exactly where Shelly and Fraser Price is. I'm gonna bring um Julian Alfred to the number 2 spot now. So I'm gonna say Shakari, then Julian Alfred, and then a Jamaican. But problem again is this: Melissa Jefferson out of the USA have better times than Tia, recorded times than Tia. According to what Coach Steve Francis said, Tia Clayton is better than she was at trials. And at trials, she was not healthy or fully healthy. I know she's fully there. She wasn't even supposed to PB at trials, and she PB, so she was ahead of schedule. If I should be a little emotional about what I said emotional, the fact that we have ties to these athletes, they're Jamaicans and stuff. I would want to put Tia in number 2 spot, but just going off what we know and the kind of season that I'm seeing from Julian Alfred, to be honest, I'm going to say Shakari, Julian Alfred, and then Shelly and Fraser Price. Shelly and Fraser Price now have a more secured medal than before. What do you think, Carlene? Who do you believe could take a medal here? Or your medal pick for the 100 now that Shericka is out? Cynthia saying Shericka told the entire world that she's not injured. This lie can't affect her. This lie can affect her in the future. I don't think she would take the chance of being called a liar. Remember, she is representing a brand as well. She's representing a brand as well. So it is because is it that you're going to sabotage the Olympics? Because this is bigger than Jamaica at this point, right? Are you going to sabotage the Olympics? And if you're sabotaging the Olympics, who can trust you? The Olympics is bigger than the UN. More countries attend the Olympics than what attend the UN National Council in New York, right there. You have a lot of countries and they all unite, no fighting. Everybody, even warring countries, cooperate. Iran beat the US today in fencing. You will never find Iran and US in anything cooperative other than sports. So this is a big deal. This is a world event. And if you sabotage a world event, then in the future it could be a problem. Teflon Dan, welcome to live. Appreciate your comment. Shericka and Frano saying she is not hurt and 100% fit. So right now I'm expecting the gold in 200. I don't want an excuse because she had a chance to say if she's not fit. Very, very good point. This is where it could affect her in the future. You where you are not fit and you took some of the load off. You took a full three races out of your schedule, and now you're doing your baby. This is your baby. This is the race that you enjoy doing more than anything else. Just like you saying, Bolt, 200-meter is your baby. Why didn't you get that gold medal? Answer that one, Miss Jackson. That's a good one right there, Teflon Don. Appreciate the comment. Dina Asher Smith could surprise in the 100. I would give Talu a chance over Dina Asher Smith in the 100. However, Dina Asher Smith just changed her coach. Now she's training with um, Julian Alfred. They are at the same camp, and we saw where she looks better now. It's just that Julian Alfred is still a little bit better than she is. Julian Alfred is getting better results. So I would still want to give Julian Alfred the nod over her, and with Shelley Fraser Price just lining up at a line in a championship, she usually medal. And the only reason why I wouldn't give her, the only way I would say no to Shelley is if she doesn't make it through the rounds and if she is actually injured. But if Shelley is there, I'm gonna go with Shelley. All right. So Carlene is saying Shakiri, Alfred, and Tia. So yeah, I was reserving the proper pronunciation for her after she win, as I call her Shakari. She don't like it. She said it's Shakiri, the long A. So anyway, Shakiri, Alfred, and Tia. So you're also giving Tia to beat Shelly because she had done it at the championships as well. It's a good one. That's actually better than mine, in my opinion. Remembering that she actually beat Shelly at the championship at the trials. So right now, Tia is the winner going into this one. So Tia automatically replaced our Shericka Jackson. If Tia and actually Tia and Alfred had run the same time literally, So it could alternate between Alfred and Tia because Tia and Alfred ran the same time. Tia is younger than Alfred barely, but Alfred and Tia ran around the same time. So that's a good one. Now that I put it in perspective here, Shakir is still for the win. Alfred and Tia alternated there, but the only dark horse in that one would be Melissa Jefferson because she's very hungry and she's determined. Now she's gonna step up to the pace. I do believe she will. Mr. Rose Smith Dina come off that curve in London miles ahead of Alfred. Yeah, she did. So you're saying you think that she probably is faster in the 100 than Alfred because of that run that she had in. But Alfred is also running a lot, and she ran, I think, the week before. So you never know. Cynthia Lane is agreeing with you. Teflon is agreeing with you. She cannot cry out that I was injured. It really that excuse, yeah, this right here, man. I don't know. You really cannot say that. Yes, I wasn't at my best. Yeah, that is past. That time is past. All the secrecy. I don't know. But you're right. I didn't look at it that way. You cannot say, but I had a little injury. I picked up an injury right before the race. That's probably the only thing she could say. Right before the race, I picked up an injury, but when I was warming up, no excuse after Olympics for real. Yeah, Teflon that is saying they better not be playing out these um tractics for the Netflix that these theatrics for the Netflix docu-series Sprint that is actively being filmed during the Paris Olympics. I just get that feeling. It is zero to hero episode or hero to zero. You could be a hero to zero because right now you could lose everything, reputation and all. It's more of a zero, a hero to zero. And that touch on the shoulder from Kishane Thompson when he touched. Um, I just thought that was something. That was something crazy, man. Let's see if I can find it. Uh, Kishane Thompson when he touched Noah Lyle's girlfriend on the shoulder. He just touched her on the shoulder and he walked away. I don't know if you guys already saw that one, but I believe that could be also a scene in that movie because why do you go close to Noah Lyles? Why do you go close to Noah Lyles? To the point where you're touching this girl. So there you go. That looked like a scene out of a movie to me. Like, why are you walking between Noah and his girl, hugging his girl, like you're breaking between them, hugging his girl, and just keep on walking like you're a villain? You see, you're trying to play of the villain of Paris. Yeah, he's thirsty. Hopefully, she's hungry too because we want her to want her to eat their food. Alfred over here because of experience. I could see that for sure. Kishane played mind games. You know, as them said, touch your girl and me don't sorry. Just touch your man girl and walk away right now. You will never let her go back to another trials. She won't be ever going back to another trials. You can touch her like that, even when I'm here. No way. Housewife of Olympics. You can imagine at some point people would be like, I need an interview from Junil. I want to know the secrets. What's going on between you and those Jamaicans? And how is it that Noah Lyles is handling it? They know that you are good with this big lion of a man over here, running faster than everybody else, giving out a roar like a big bad lion. And you're Noah, they call him Noah Lies, you know, they call your spouse Noah Lyles, and everybody against him, and everybody's for this guy. This guy walks up and he hugs you. You keep walking. Did he hug you when you were at trials? How do you know him so well? I can imagine. Mr. Rose Smith saying, Shashay Forbes is running the 100-meter. That's definitely the case because at the start here, I was saying that Sasha Lee Forbes replaced Shericka. That's what the news broke. She replaced Shericka. We all know that she's not at the level of a Shericka, but she's the replacement. She came fourth, right? It's almost like a tie between her and Shelly. It was a tie. It's almost like a tie. So she was naturally the replacement. So Sasha Lee Forbes is running the 100. That girl got no class. I'll never forget that stunk behavior after the 4x1 finals in London. I hope she does not come to Paris with that behavior. There are people who are saying that she is Wilson's runner. That's why they decided to leave Kimba because, according to the J3A, the fourth place runner is not guaranteed to be on the final team. So it could be where he's securing his athlete. Could be where he's securing the athlete for the final event. Why they didn't bring Kimba Nelson there? What a man seem confident, Kishane that is. Just walking between Noah and his girl. That's a heartbreak. I can imagine. I can imagine Noah going home and he's like, does he always touch you like that? Judel, Judel, why do you allow him to touch you when I was there? Oh, and CJ, they say, love, that's how we Jamaicans do that. We walk very close to our enemies. It is true, especially if they know your girl, they say hi to her. But the good thing about Jamaicans and America, the Jamaicans is that if he actually hugged her when she was at the trials, he'll never know. He will never know. Unlike Noah, everybody knows, but he will never know. Do something, no, Kishan. Tempting Noah. I don't think Junelle will be going to Jamaica alone. That's the problem. This is her last. That was her last time going to Jamaica all by herself. They are teammates, but we are having fun with it. When I saw it, the first thing came to my mind because I was like, if it was me and he came, hug, and she hugged him back. She didn't like, you can't, like she hugged him. Let me see. Or is it me imagine it? Because I so she if she forgot she was walking with Noah for a moment. She continued walking and then she's like, come Noah. Man, that is pure. That's definitely empty to touch. That is pure Netflix. That's Netflix worthy for sure. Can't bet, can't bet. Junel feels something from that hug. I I shall be tuning into that in season two. Oh, that's unfair. Now Kishane is going to be the star of that Netflix series, and everybody is gonna say Noah lies. That's a problem. So yes, Sonia Lee Hilton, me too. You feel something too. John was there. I tell you one thing for sure. Junil will not be going back to any practice in Jamaica. They have to bring the team to America. London say Kishi and say, me no afraid of no bull book, no no pick anchor. Go for your army, go for your anchor, a charger. If no a cartel free today, you must know. We not afraid of nobody. Come touch me no. Touch about no. No, no, no. This is so serious, sir. Whatever you deal with the thing, sir. You cannot deal with it, sir. I tell you, so the first thing that come to my mind is like, I say, the valiant will say, touch a girl and no, sorry. And that we look for when I see it. Man, hug her, go through. And when him let her go, no, man, I have to do it again. We're going to do it one more time. Because I feel like say I'm alone in the party. And this is a Junel did not follow him. Junel did not follow him. Junel did not follow him. I wait, she have to wait for an hour. Why, man, tell us that if you don't feel the touch, you can really imagine for sure. If you feel the touch, Cynthia, you feel the touch? This is a Junel want walk with him. Junel did not walk with Junior decides, say, boy, I go wherever I'm going up. Only hope Junior did not get anything from that. Oh, oh God, tell him, say, have more muscle. No, I was like, tell me something else. I saw that. Not a lot of attendance on this live, but I've totally enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. But honestly, though, that's a problem, you know. Honestly, they must have an episode where they interview Junil. Asked her, what did Noah do after that? Oh, how you can imagine Noah going home. And when, no, them say it's a surgical move. Think about it, you know. In just cut off Noah life force, you know. Noah in him dorm or wherever I'm there. And I asked Junil if he can come still. Because remember the interview Noah said, Junil already told me about those guys. She told me about Oblique Bill. She told me about Kishane. You know. But Noah I go ask her, did you tell me everything? Junil? Junil, did you say everything? Junil? Junil go on like she's slick. Junil, Junil did I go with him. Junil almost left Noah. Junil almost left Noah. The grace of God make right now. No, sir. Eh. No. What just happened there, so? Kishane said, Noah, you love talk. Go back on that podcast and talk about this. You know what the wickedest part? I don't believe Noah will ever know if what alright, it's a Jamaican man. I go hold them mouth with the cover to certain things. So Kishane operate like he hold him mouth with everything. Noah will never know. Will never know. No, it's not safe at all. The man that told over no over no all lies. You don't know what we no condone them thing you do. Them thing you no fear, you know. Because after this, no I go run back way. No, just picture this. You have a woman where you sure say you got Jamaica go take the hottest girl in your car for yourself. She come up and boast about how Jamaica have Kishane down there. And then Kishane come, hug her, walk between the two of them, continue walk and she walk back at Kishane. No. If Kishane touch my girl, so me tell him, keep her. Now I need to take a page out of my book. You can't touch me girls and not take her for yourself. Keep her, man. You go figure the touch there. No. Kishane say, joke right. Noah, I go ask a whole heap of question right now. Right now, that's on fear. But we have this supposed to go all over the world. People supposed to turn this in a meme. So when Noah see this, after this, Noah must forget saying did have a Jamaican girlfriend. He must say a Fewy girl. That's rough. I wonder which Pokemon card he might go pull out. No. Alright, we're gonna ask. Does Kishane wear nail polish like these? Does he wear this kind of nail polish? Alright, she gonna say, oh, by the way, he doesn't play with Pokemon. He's a lion. Jaja. You know, probably a daydream board that they hug there. We know they you will probably have your snapper back out of reality. Oh, this kind of rough. This I gonna live. This I gonna get in my head with you. This I gonna get in my head. Well, don't worry. No, we'll have become a Jamaican after this Olympics, man. We'll be keeping it a little bit closer. He might go join the racers track club. No. Oh, him bring her up there, no. Him smart. Him bring her to America. It's smart. It's smart. No, sir. No, Jaja. But when they think all that still, any man walk up to our next man, woman, and hug her and just walk away, it's like, she don't respect me. That's the first thing. This is how you get in my head and all of that. Noah, I go wonder, hold on, so this man don't respect me. Hold on, but she don't respect me neither. Hold on, the man can't live and she have a where I go? Where she a go? It's like so much a go on in her head. When him go back home, him a go sit down and think, but let's say man come out of the blacks fast army. But you know, saying like her because she, she like him because him come out of the blacks so fast. Or because he run 9-7, me only run 9-8. Oh man, this is not good. This not safe. This not safe at all. That's a trouble, sir. This not safe, no time. Not safe at all. But nonetheless, I said the Kishane total disrespected now. No Jamaican can't accept that. No, boy, you rough. You rough. I tell us the man situation like that. Tell him to keep her, you know. You just touch her, you have to keep her, my lord. You can't do that. So you, wow, be a problem. Where did I go with him? Where did I go with him? You sure say I only run your guy Jamaica go run with him. Oh, you know him so good. You would have to clear the stadium if I'm my girl. No race now, go on. man, man overdo it. He overdo it. That day. No, look. The man touch her and disappear in the crowd, you know. But he touch her and make sure you see. No, I pretend say them all look. You know. But I do the same thing too. He pretend say them all look. She just rented a space in Noah. It be free. We feel like him purchase real estate and him pay off all of the tax. Because Noah will never forget that. Noah will ask her every day. But why? But why? But why? So him never see me. I said Jamaican man them stay. Man, don't let Noah leave. Me believe say after this him a left her. Me believe say she him a left her. After this, no, especially make this ever going at the Netflix series. A trouble. He would have he better win. No one no one better win after this. If no one don't win, me definitely I go put a video up and me I break this down around 50 different ways. No, better win. Because nobody knows you touch a girl like that and she a walk behind you, and you're a girl, Bridget. You left something comfort. Only way know I recover from this is a world record. Nothing, no, who depends on who run the world record. If Kishane run the world record, I bet him name him son Kishane. But the thing we kind of have me away with now, though, the nail polish. You think he might get no youth? I don't know, yeah, man. I say go. But that touch left with Joe is kind of serious. On this light-hearted note, just want to say appreciate everybody who stopped by. Truly appreciate it. I've been going live a few times. I didn't go last night because I wanted to say, all right, let me recuperate because we have to go when day before day tomorrow night. Tomorrow night around 2. So we kind of recuperate so we can, because we're not normally consistent. I'm finding some consistency going. So appreciate everybody who stopped by. This was definitely fun. And it ended on a jovial note. I hope that even with all the chaos going on with the Olympics and all of how it is started and all the rocky starts, at the end we'll be smiling. We'll be going on with all the gold. We'll be going on with the medals, and we'll be respecting our athletes, cheering them on and cheering for them after everything. So respect to everybody who stopped by. Sanally, appreciate it. Jan Mark, appreciate it. Carlin, thank you for stopping by. Cynthia, appreciate it. Teflon Dan, the broad perspective. Appreciate everybody who had been here tonight. Journey with Kelly, as always. Appreciate it. Thank you. It was fun. Appreciate it. too. RTN leave the people them sort alone. That are somebody enemy now. But tell you, be glad say I know why not me because why? Imagine losing your mind and a woman all in the same time. Okay, we'll be here tomorrow. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Kishane, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Oh, start Teflon. I'm Teflon so like a selector. Yan Mac is saying vibes tonight. Good night, Yan Mac. Have a good night. Absolutely. It was worth it. All the best. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And as always, well, rewrite the narrative. Like, share, subscribe.